Hey guys, welcome to the Axe Faith Show. Today's going to be a continuation of the Tea Time edition that I released a few weeks ago, but this is going to be titled Dead Man Tell No Tales. In light of Jeffrey Epstein's recent passing in the MCC Correctional Facility in New York, it raises a lot of different questions. He was supposed to be under suicidal watch after being found with injuries around his neck supposedly 6 days ago. He is then found dead in his cell. His cellmate was transferred out of his cell. He wasn't replaced, and guards were overworked and overstaffed, according to the representatives of the MCC. And as they were sleeping, it was the perfect. I guess Jeffrey Epstein knew that had to have known they were sleeping because he was able to kill himself in the time that the next guard on shift would find him. Very similar to a plot that we've seen play out time and time again in many movies and in real life. So it just causes for much conspiracy, much thought, and questions as to how could someone who was already on suicide watch, how could that be lapsed and be overlooked, I just don't understand. This is a very high profile case, the biggest case in the Department of Justice, and the guards dropped the ball by falling asleep because they were overworked. That's the story that they're going to go with. So, yeah, kind of crazy. I think if this thing would have made it to trial, it would have collapsed the economy with all of the big wigs who's involved. And if things were really to be uncovered, there's a lot of people at stake. And a lot of people in their money and business ties, people who are doing business with them at stake. We saw with the Me Too movement, people all across all industries were just being, found out left and right. And it was horrible for a lot of projects that were up and coming to be released. People didn't know which way to turn. So although investigations are set to continue, it just may be more smoke and mirrors, and the rabbit hole just may be too deep. But we won't bend over here, guys. We won't bend. We won't fold. We're going to keep taking a look into this, and I'm going to keep giving you the updates. As you know, as I mentioned also, the guards on duty in the Special Housing Unit of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, they fell asleep on the night of Jeffrey Epstein's death, leaving him unchecked for 3 hours. And when they did check on him again at 6:30 Saturday morning, he was unresponsive. The kicker here, guys, though, is that afterwards, those gentlemen falsified the records to conceal their mistakes. The fact that they felt emboldened enough to conceal their mistake and falsify records, I feel like this had to have been orchestrated. Dead man can't tell no tales. And, just the thing about keeping secrets, I feel like a lot of people who are involved, their developmental has been, their development, has been frozen. I take a look at Jeffrey Epstein. This guy is like almost 70 years old. I want to say 65 to 67. I'll double check that. I'll fact check. But he's definitely in his upper 60s. He has no children. He's unmarried. He's only had girlfriends his whole life. I feel as if his development has definitely been frozen in a certain space and time, which makes him more plausible, more believable, not that I ever doubted it, that he definitely did sexually abuse women. And that makes it more believable that he went after younger women and raped young girls and women because he himself was frozen in development. And when you look at all the people that's close to him, the people who's being highlighted, like people like Donald Trump, frozen development, slow ass people. Excuse me, I don't think I could curse on YouTube. But slow people, you know what I mean? Like they might be smart in other different ways, but their development has not grown in their sense of self, in their sense of identity. And to me, it just makes it so much more believable that these are the kind of people that can make such offenses, which means that there's a lot of truth behind the documents that were released. Of course, they're unsealed court documents that have been verified, and I'm not going to name any of the people that were named in the documents. I'm going to still do more research, and I don't need them coming looking for me. But the thing about it is, suicide, the only reason why I will entertain suicide as a plausibility is because if he's dealing with the heavyweight stuff of his own burdens and people who are in prominent positions, it just may be an oath he's taken and knows that, he just has to take this to the grave with himself. I didn't see any strong family ties or ties to the community that would make him. I mean, is he really embarrassed? I don't know if that would even play into it. This is someone who's been accused of raping women for decades in cahoots with his friends. So I don't know where the embarrassment would come from. So I don't know if he would take his life for that reason. A lot to uncover. My mind is going into the culpability of whether he was suicidal and who really had more to gain from his passing than him actually making it to trial. So that's the way I'm thinking about things. It's just funny to me that Attorney General William Barr, who was also named in our first episode of this series, describes a lot of unusualities, things that didn't usually occur at MCC that occurred on that night. And then you have Trump coming out he's retweeting and proliferating conspiracies that the Clintons may be behind this. But yet, we have already identified ties between Trump and Will Barr to Jeffrey Epstein. So it's like, don't try to spin this web and turn public eye and scrutiny towards, a black hole where something may not exist, or where we actually should be looking at, which is maybe in your direction. So, yep, something to think about. I never want to say too much on these things. I still got to be careful. So, yeah, use your own mind, do some research, and, we're going to be back at it very soon. Thanks for tuning in. As always, from my heart to yours, it's the Ask Faith Show.